Two things before I really get into this video. First of all, I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody who gets paid to give you medical information. I don't care what any of you do about this vaccine, as long as you make the choice you make that you're comfortable with. If you get it, that's fine. If you don't get it, that's fine. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to ridicule you. I'm not here to make you do something you don't want to do. If you go into a store and you have a mask on, cool. I don't care. If you don't have one on, cool. I don't care. My only recommendation is that you don't approach somebody who isn't doing what you're doing and making a commotion because you feel like you want to be the hero. Secondly, despite the image on the screen, this video is not about Fantano, because even though he tweeted that, he also tweeted, "I'm not urging everyone to copy me or something like that, and I don't look down on anyone who does differently from me." And you could say that's a cop-out. You could say he's using that as a shield, so when this becomes a trend and people make it a big issue that people aren't canceling their Spotify's, people are going to look at him and say, "You're the one who spearheaded this." But at least I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt in saying that this is his own choice and he wanted to be somebody to announce it, while also saying he doesn't want this to become something that everyone does, even if they choose not to do it. I am begging every single Twitter activist, Twitter loser, wannabe hero, white ally, savior, liberal, whoever you are, that thought it was a good idea to stand on any platform and talk to somebody as if to guilt trip them into caring about something by saying things like, "Oh, I hear your silence. Your silence speaks volumes. If you don't tweet about this, if you don't post this hashtag, if you don't post this picture of a black square, you are obviously somebody who's against me. You hate me. You hate my skin color. You hate my existence. You hate everything I hold dear because of who I am as a person. And if you don't do this, you're a bad person and I don't want to be friends with you anymore." Can we not have this be a thing with this Spotify nonsense? I don't even know what the issue is. Is it about Joe Rogan? Is it about somebody else? Is it only about how this person who claims to be this great music artist is going around saying, "Hey, Spotify, you need to get rid of Joe Rogan," and now their music's being removed from the platform? If that's the case, if all of this is about Joe Rogan, you could just say, "I'm canceling my Spotify premium." I could post a picture of me canceling my Spotify premium. I'll get some likes. I'll get a bunch of people who will say, "Yay! Oh, great job. You're such a hero." And of course, you're going to get the people who are going to be snarky and say, "Oh, wow, you did such a great job changing the world." Because of course, that's not going to do anything to change the world. My issue is that we got all these people who grandstand. You got all these different people thinking it's a good idea to no longer be associated with friends and family all over a vaccine. And I think that's a poor way of going about human interaction and life. But that's just me in my opinion. But to see somebody with a blue check mark getting on there and saying, "Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do," but also being smart enough to say it's not really a thing if everybody else does it or not do it, that's just my own personal choice, I applaud that. But I can't trust the rest of humanity, because the rest of humanity is not Fantano. The rest of humanity could go along with that and say, "This person led the charge and I am going to start doing this." If you didn't post how you're canceling your Spotify premiums, you are obviously somebody who wants to see Americans die. You are obviously somebody who wants the suffering to continue. You want the lockdowns to remain because obviously you care more about Joe Rogan, even though you possibly don't even listen to Joe Rogan. You're just on there listening to anime titties. You are obviously somebody who wants the suffering to continue. You don't care about all these low-income workers and all this because you need something to guilt trip a bunch of people. It's not that serious to the point where you got to put on some stunt to act like the big hero. Nobody is going to look at you as the big hero. They're just going to look at you as some random person trying to virtue signal. And again, I believe for the third time, this is not about exclusively Fantano. This is about humanity. This is about the social aspects of social media and how a bunch of people see something and think, "Oh my God, this is a smart idea," even though it has no backing. Because again, remember Blackout Tuesday? Remember this great idea people had to only post a black square, and one of the ideas was to make sure all the real news was getting out there, but hilariously enough, all it was a bunch of black squares and you couldn't find out shit about anything for a couple hours. It's not a good idea. And what's bringing me back to my anger and what's pissing me off a little bit is that there was somebody who got on TV at the time and tried to make the claim that family members got to start distancing themselves from people who aren't doing the same things as them.
There was a USA Today essay that was published by a former prosecutor named Michael Stern. And I discussed this briefly on radio yesterday. He says, we've got to shun folks. We've got to shun people into getting vaccinated. The shunning suggestion is this. Businesses should make vaccination a requirement for employment. A COVID outbreak can shut down a business and be financially devastating, and failure to enforce basic health and safety measures is not fair to employees who have to work in offices, factories, and stores where close contact is required. Things should get personal too. People should require friends to be vaccinated to attend the barbecues and birthday parties they host. Friends don't let friends spread COVID. Friends don't let friends spread COVID. Yesterday's survey question at smerconish.com asked whether it's time to shun. 7,241 people responded. What do you think the percentage was who said yes? How about 73%?
And my question at the time is, what is your response going to be when depression starts to spike and more people start to unalive themselves, all because no one wants to interact with them anymore? Are you going to sit there and say, well, that's tough break, buddy. Next time in the next life, you do what everybody else does and maybe you'll fit in. No, people have their own preferences and choices. And I've said it, I'll keep saying it because I need to say it just so that it's known by everybody. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice. I am never going to tell you what to do with your own bodies. If you get it, cool. If you don't, cool. You're your own people. Figure it out. Do whatever research you need to do. Come to your own conclusions. I'm never gonna tell y'all what to do because I'm not somebody you should turn to for any medical advice. But I'm also gonna be the guy who looks at all these people thinking it's a good idea to guilt trip in order to get what you want and say, pump the brakes, because everybody's not gonna jive with that. Some people are gonna say, oh my God, I think this is a good idea. Let me go cancel my Spotify premium. But other people are gonna say, fuck that. This is my favorite app. Apple Music fucking sucks. And that's their own choice. Are you gonna demean them because they're not spending their time saying, I hate Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan is obviously somebody who I hate. Look at his body. It looks like a misshapen bullet. Oh God, I hate him. He's spreading all this misinformation. And yeah. Because if that's the avenue a lot of y'all want to go with, I'm here to let you know you're gonna lose a lot of friends. You may lose a lot of family, and guess what? They'll have a right, just like you have a right, to not interact with you ever again. And I personally think that's a bad way of going about this. My simple suggestion to anybody, it's very simple. I understand a couple people may think, oh my God, how could you say such a horrendous thing on YouTube? But I promise you, it's not that dangerous. Just try to talk to people. I get that some people are ignorant. I get that some people always want to have their ears closed. I get that some people like to talk but don't want to listen, but at least try. And if there's somebody that wants to listen, they'll actually hear you out. Maybe instead of doing all the guilt tripping, they'll understand that you don't even listen to Joe Rogan. You just listen to Lil Wayne and NBA Youngboy and Cordae all day, and that's fine. But if there's somebody who's just going to say, you need to do this because this is important, then they're obviously somebody who will never listen to anybody else but somebody who's gonna cater to their own egos, and that's poor. So my advice, my core suggestion, don't do this. Don't make this a trend. And for the fourth time, this is not exclusively about Fantano. This is about social media and how they like to always want to be the hero of something. Are we clear? Are we good? Cool. Subscribe to the channel. Please be smarter when you're on social media. Stop trying to guilt trip people, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.